What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the No Life Gaming Show. What episode are we on? I don't know. We've missed a few weeks. If you've been a bit busy, let me find out here on our Twitter at No Life's Gaming. It looks like we're on episode 15, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, episode 15. I hope you guys have been enjoying the show thus far. I actually looked at the statistics on the DIY or Die website, which is where I host it on the In the Mix network for now until we kind of drum up our own fan base on this side. And I found out that a lot of you guys are actually listening to the show on replay audio only. So I will keep that in mind. I thought most of it was just kind of just people passing by. The YouTube numbers aren't as nearly as high as our audio numbers on the podcast. So I highly recommend, if you like this show as an audio show, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just type in No Life's Gaming. We passed 100 subscribers, so now I can create a YouTube URL. They make you get 100 subscribers before you can get a YouTube URL. So our YouTube URL will probably be youtube.com/c/NoLife. And if that's taken, maybe No Life's Gaming. I'll let you guys know next week. But we finally got over 100 subscribers. Thank you to all who have been checking the show out, enjoying it. We're going to keep rocking and rolling. 15 episodes. We're doing good. We got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We weren't here last week. Last week I was in South Africa and playing with lions and fucking baby cubs. That was fun. And the rest of the crew was out doing stuff. And there was a big game that kind of got released. There was a couple big things that got released. So we're going to talk about them in the show. We got some news for you. We got an interesting deep topic at the end. And then, yeah, so let's just get on it. Oh, wait. No Life's Gaming on Twitter and also Twitch /no_lives. All right, now let's get rolling. Let's bring on the crew. What it is, crew. What's up, everyone? How you guys doing?
Living.
What up? What up?
What up? Dude, that's crazy. Like, I did not know that we were doing so good on audio only.
Oh, yeah. Like,
dude, I definitely
one.
have a face for radio. I will let you guys know that right now. I do have a face for radio.
They love our deep voices.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And I think it's all, I mean, the whole network kind of took a little bit of a plunge once In the Mix kind of took a break. So once that show comes back, those numbers are only going to get higher. And then again, this is like a completely different thing. So we'll get more traffic, hopefully, the more stuff that we do.
Real talk, I didn't even know that we had an audio only
yeah, it's always been a
podcast thing.
Yeah, I just uploaded it to the network because I figure that's a good jumping point. Yeah. And there's still to this day, I tell everyone, look, we're doing a gaming show. It's literally on my website at the top, No Life. And I still get people saying, oh, wow, I didn't know you do gaming shows. I didn't know you got into tech and stuff like that. It's like, it's literally right there on the website. If you subscribe to the podcast, you automatically get the show, but people still miss it, man.
That's how I know. It's just because I've always done that. That's how I've listened to pretty much all of the shows on the network for the most part. Is like, I will rarely get to check it live, but if I listen to things, it's probably like when I'm exercising or taking walks and stuff. You know what I mean?
That's 99.9% of how I consume all my content.
Literally, I was your Mixler demographic. Me and Jerry were your Mixler demographic, and then you lost us with when you switched to YouTube.
I listened to Blend
Mixler.
at work, and then I really dig Twitch's like audio.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
no, that's entirely why we have been, well, not entirely, but that's been one of the biggest reasons why we've been using Twitch, is because Twitch is just a lot better for creators, surprisingly, for being able to use your videos after they're published. Like, they have a lot more built-in controls of just getting the audio sources from it and things like that. But the biggest thing is with Twitch, you can just listen to audio.
So you can just rip the audio from a Twitch video.
Well, yes, you have to
Like-
download the VOD, but you can download the VOD and actually
Yeah.
have complete control off of it and stuff
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
Like Thursday morning at work, I'll bring up I'll go into the Twitch app on my phone, go into Blend, go to the VODs, like their past broadcasts, and then hit a settings where I just hit audio only, and then I can actually close the screen and the audio still plays, no problem, which saves my battery life. And I can't watch video at work. You know, I can if I want to get caught and get yelled at.
Well, Blend is also
Yeah.
on the podcast network. So if you just
Yeah.
have like a podcast net, like anything, all of them, they're on all
Yeah.
Stitcher, iTunes, all of them. So you don't have to
So-
actually go through all that. You can just automatically get it.
And that's what I do is I send the audio to you to put it up on the network. But then it's also just nicer for when we are doing it live, because even though we do it late at night live, we still get a lot of people actually asking us like, hey dude, we have a high demographic of truck drivers who listen to us live,
Oh,
things
yeah.
like that, who
A
are
lot
just
of them
like,
vape.
yeah, it's just
Truck
like, hey dude,
drivers love talk radio and any
Yeah.
talk shows. That's
So-
their big
well,
thing.
even when it's broadcasting live, you still have the audio only option. So that's
Yeah.
what they do is they just put it on audio only and just keep listening
Well-
live. It's like, cool.
I mean, when I was growing up, I used to work on the farm. And when
Yeah.
you work on the farm, I'm not talking about like fucking with animals. That would have been a cool farm experience. No, I'm talking about like land farming.
Yeah.
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 So
Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
basically,
I gotta
life.
spend 12 hours today digging dirt,
yeah,
and I gotta do it the
basically-
next day. And the next
Basically, yeah, you're either doing just manual labor or you're just riding around on like a tractor or a combine or something for fucking 14 hours. So at first you start listening to like just the radio and your own music, and then eventually you're like, no, fuck this. I'm just gonna listen to like talk show, podcasts, and audiobooks. That's what I'm listening to.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
I've got,
so much more
I've got like
immersive.
7 different going right now on my podcast player on my phone.
Oh my God. I have so many.
I was to say I have a lot more than 7. Yeah.
No, I mean like
Yeah.
I,
Like you're
they're the
listening to
ones
currently.
that-
Yeah.
They're the daily ones that I have to catch every day that are like 3 hours long because it's the morning radio show. Wayne would know like WMMR, Preston and Steve in the morning because they're Philly based. I catch their show every day through the podcast.
Yeah. I listen to usually NPR first. It's like my morning wake up. And then I rock out to maybe a Joe Rogan podcast. His podcast, you always got a good
The
guest.
JRE.
Such a good show. Or
Yeah, it
I
is-
like
it really
Radio
is.
Lab. Radio Lab's a good one.
When they get uploaded like once every 2 months, Kevin Smith's Smodcast is pretty decent.
Yeah, I heard that's pretty good. I haven't listened to that one yet.
It hasn't been big lately because him and his partner, Scott Monase, whatever his name is, he's like living in England now.
You know what I think it is too? Like as you get older, your circle of friends becomes a lot smaller. And like I don't like a lot of my good friends I don't see enough because they're so like one lives in Arizona, one lives in Florida, and I don't hang out with too much people. So like a podcast, it's kind of like your
It's like your
friends.
own little friends. It's like
Yeah.
it's your weekly dose of voices and stuff that you're
You miss
used to.
out
I
on.
guess you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Oh, that's,
I think it's pretty cool that you can like still get that connection just listening to a fucking podcast or something.
especially when it's like I listen to NPR religiously, and then I listen to like pretty much Leo Laporte, like the whole and like the This Week in Tech, like
Yeah.
fucking.
I mean,
He's been
God, he's
doing it
got
forever.
fucking 30 podcasts now, and it's just like, okay, if there's a time of the day, there's a live podcast he's doing pretty much, and it's like, all right.
We're not about to talk about G4 and Tech TV for the next hour again, are we?
All
Like
I'm
we
gonna
did
ask-
last time. That's like one of the only videos that Wayne actually had to edit a lot out.
Yeah.
It's because we sat there and talked about G4 and Tech TV and screensavers for us. Shit, you not like an
Yo,
hour and a
Attack
half.
of the Show. Anyway,
Yeah.
All right, well,
Hey,
let's get moving
Loco.
then.
do you follow fighting games a lot or no?
A little bit. Yeah.
If you like fighting games, there's a really good podcast out there called Double Tap that's like every other Wednesday, and they're really good.
I was about to say, is Maximilian on it? No. Okay. we're done.
No, but they do a really good job of covering games.
Well, let's talk about the games
Yeah.
that we've been playing this week.
Yeah.
And I will start. I've been playing 2 games this week. One I play every year, and that's Madden. I wait for the new Madden to come out. I'm a huge NFL fan. I love the NFL. And this Madden I was excited for for a few things. One, they had a real career mode in this one. I don't have footage, but I'm gonna be doing like a tips and tricks things. I've been playing Madden for years. I'm pretty damn good at it. But they finally came out this mode where it's like a story mode, like an actual adventure mode, and it's called Longshot. And I was really excited for this, and it's fucking terrible. It's literally, I don't know how much money they paid these reviewers to say how good this was, because that's all I heard was like Madden's Longshot. It's like the career mode we've all been waiting for. This is it. It's not just some slapped on career mode. It literally is just a slapped on cutscene career mode. It's so bad. It's all cutscenes of just terrible graphics, terrible CG graphics. There's a couple great voice actors, but the story just is so dumb. It's not realistic. It's about like you're some college football player who he quit after his father died. He's been out of the game for 3 years, and there's this thing called Longshot, which is a reality TV show that like NBC is doing. Something out of like a Grand Theft Auto like side mission. It's so dumb. So you get picked to do this.
They took that mode they used to have and then made it even worse.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
I don't even understand. It sounds like it'd be better if they just take the old like storyless, faceless mode where you're like, okay, do the combine, and now you're in the NFL.
That was fun. Yeah, that was fun.
I much rather that. I mean, they still have franchise mode. They still have like the MUT. Everyone really just plays for the MUT, which is like the card system, how FIFA.
I love
has
how
it.
mad people get online at that game.
Oh, it's
like
so frustrating.
this is the first year I bought Madden in like 7 years. So I was like, kind of spur of the moment. I really love football. I haven't played Madden forever. Let me buy it. Whatever. Me and my brother play it. And I got online on MUT. And I think the guy was like up 3-0, and the guy threw a pick and immediately quit.
Oh yeah.
Like why do people take this thing so serious?
Well, I'll give you an example why. And this is one of the criticisms I have with how I don't know if it's the fact that it's just I don't know. So Madden has gotten so good at recreating what's on the field, and you can really dive into the intricacies of football. Like you can set up all different kinds of plays. You can set up like different kinds of adjustments. Everything. There's every little thing you can set up. So as a newer player, it's kind of a lot to take in. You can't just go online and expect to, have a good run game and win. You have to know everything about your offense. You have to know everything about your defense. You have to know how to adjust everything about each side. You have to know which plays and which matchups with every team, like how every team matches up. Because someone can go in the depth chart, flip Des Bryant with your slowest cornerback, and he's going to beat you every time. So you have to know how to catch that. There's all different things like that. So as a new player, it's just too much. So you get a lot where it's like you're either playing against people who've been playing for years and like professionally play, or you're playing like children who just don't know what they're doing. And there's
at the end of the day, it's still a system with its own rules, with numbers. Like I mean, they're also the same players that will come in and know that okay, it's 4th and 10. Realistically, you punt, but they're gonna go for it.
Yeah,
because that's what you do.
That's another thing too, right? It's like there's certain things where you could cheat your way. Like certain plays just always work. Just the way that the computer AI knows, like follows the players around.
It's always a system. You know how to beat the system,
right?
Do you still got Greg Jennings available? Because I mean, if you do, you win.
Well,
you just win.
Right now,
if all else fails, run quick slants.
Yeah, quick slants.
For real.
Run quick slants.
Well, actually, quick slants actually has been locked down because they fixed man coverage. Man coverage used to be terrible. Everyone would always run zones, but now man coverage is actually viable, and zones actually suck. Like the purple zones, I forget what they're called. The purple zones now, you kind of want to keep hard flats. This is all stuff I'll talk about in the video, but. My overall impression is I love Madden. I always will love Madden as long as they keep the core game the same. I just really am super disappointed at how I was lied to about this Longshot mode. If you go on all the reviewer websites, it will tell you how great Longshot is. It's so bad.
It's like 6 hours long, isn't it?
It's not only that. I got about halfway through and I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. You're not playing actual games.
It's a movie.
Really?
Yeah,
You're not even
they're
playing the
just-
games?
It's literally
It's a
quick time
movie.
events. It's quick time events. It's all quick time events. You don't play any real Madden games. It's so stupid. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I
Gaming
want the
journalism.
old mode back then, I guess, because
Yeah.
what?
But the MUT, it makes up for it in the MUT mode. Like, they just slapped it on. I was told that they didn't slap it on, even though they completely did slap it on.
See, that's where we're
Yeah.
different. I hate those card modes.
Get those
As soon as they-
microtransactions, baby.
I love
No,
it.
dude. When they started introducing those to Madden, FIFA, and like they're in the hockey games, they're in all of them now, and I was just like,
The
I hate
hockey one's
this.
the best. I love all of them. I haven't been
They're-
too much into the FIFA one because I don't know like fucking like Zimbabwe's best players. I'm just
You
not
also
that big into
don't have $1,000 to spend every single year to be competitive on one Madden game that you have to rebuy every year.
That's the thing too. Like I don't really get that deep into the MUT mode. I just like building like a dope ass team and trying to like average out good cards. Hopefully, you know, you don't have to do that, but it's looking like people are already paying their way for the best teams. But the MUT mode's good. And the online head to head is like the one that I mostly play, which is just hop on exhibition and just beat someone's ass, and that's always fun. Now I want
Dude,
to
you
talk
gotta-
about.
I was gonna say you got to get good so you can become a professional Madden player and get on ESPN, dude. Win that
I would love to.
$100,000 ESPN tourney.
I would love to. It's just that some of these guys are just so fucking smart at football. Like, just some of the routes they know how to run, and they know like the AI systems and how they kind of can get fooled. So it's just crazy how deep it gets. But I will talk about the next game I've been playing, which I'm probably gonna. I live streamed some of it the other day. I'll probably live stream the rest of it, just like piece by piece. I am in no rush to beat this, but it's the Life is Strange 2, Before the Storm, where you play as Chloe, the hardcore emo girl that's friends with Max, who Max was the character of the last one where she can kind of time travel, and you kind of have to figure out what's going on. And the what was so good about the first one, which I really enjoyed, was how it was cheesy, but while it was cheesy, it didn't focus on the cheesiness. It focused more really on that emotional connection that you have to the player, and like really pulling at your heartstrings in weird ways, like the suicide system, and it was really interesting there.
The first one felt like realistically cheesy to me.
Right.
Like it was cheesy, but it was like in a way of like, yeah, this was similar to, you know, X person I knew in high school.
Yeah.
Or like, you know,
exactly.
myself in high school, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It was cheesy in like how everyone's kind of cheesy at times, right? And
Cheesy like an 80s movie?
yeah, I would say a little less cheesy, more like a 90s movie cheesy. You know what I mean? Where this one is cheesy like an 80s movie. Like this is super cringy and cheesy. And I don't understand if there's new writers. I don't understand what's going on here. The story, I don't even know what the story is right now. So you play as Chloe, and I've only got so far. I got locked into like playing Dungeons and Dragons with these two kids sitting on a bench for like 45 minutes, and it's in the stream, and you just can't get out of it. Like if you get into the scenario, you have to finish it. So I'm pretty upset with this story, and it looks like there's some kind of like lesbian love story in there, which I think is gonna be pretty cool if they flesh it out the right way. So I do have an open mind on it. I do want to like it because I did like the first one. It's just it's just Chloe. She's just such a terrible character. She's so fucking edgy and just cringy, man. It's really hard to like her, you know? Where Max is like, she's cute and like kind of nerdy, and of course she's gonna be cheesy because that's like, you know, that's just her personality. Where this one, she's just like, it feels like she's just trying too hard to like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that's what the first Life is Strange was kind of tagged as, you know, like high school drama, cringy shit, I guess. I don't know. I thought the first one was enjoyable, but I can see like the edgelord version.
I could see-
Just when does the theme from Dawson's Creek kick in?
I will say I love the soundtrack. I always do. The soundtrack in Life is Strange is dope. I will say that it feels like it's like there's Japanese writers writing for an American high school this time. Where the
I
first
think they're
one,
French.
oh, are they?
I believe they are French.
But do you know what I mean? Where it's like when you watch like a Japanese anime and they try to recreate high school, it's like super.
Dude, that's every anime.
Yeah, exactly. It's like super stereotypical, over the top, cringy, and that's kind of how you feel on this one. Where the first one was a little bit.
I can
more
actually see
real.
that.
High school DxD.
Have you guys ever watched any French anime? Because I could actually see that, because there is some French anime. It's like French cartoons, and it's you take that and then you crank it up another 20%.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Maybe
The
that's
closest thing
what's
to
going
French
on.
anime I've seen is like a music video for Daft Punk.
Yeah, like some cartoons and stuff that have been on TV before and things like that were actually like French animes and like French cartoons, and like they were usually the ones that were like everything's really dramatic.
Yeah.
In like a cutesy kind of way. Like it's a cutesy dramatic, you know what I mean? Like everyone's a fairy princess and they're gonna save the world kind of cutesy.
You want to watch good French animation? Go watch Fantastic Planet from the 70s, because that movie is weird.
Was Aeon Flux French?
It was on MTV, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on MTV, but
I wasn't a big fan of Aeon Flux. Well, I watched it.
It was,
No,
it was
no,
alright.
It was a bit dry.
No, it's American.
yeah, never mind. I don't know why I thought that. I guess because the animation style was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was super weird. That's kind of why I liked it when I was younger. But yeah, Life is Strange. I have an open mind. I want to see where this story kind of goes. Everyone's saying that on Steam that it's got overwhelmingly positive reviews, so maybe it gets better. Maybe they're setting me up, like they want me to get cheesy and then kind of like really hit me with some heavy shit. I think that would be cool. But so far, I'm about an hour or 2 hours into it, and I'm just like, I don't want to finish this. This is so dumb.
Well, I mean,
But I do want to see like lesbian sex, like lesbian high school sex would be pretty dope to kind of get
all
into.
right, okay.
The
I
male
think that-
fantasy.
I think that that's the whole allure of these types of games. Like I believe Tales from the Borderlands is probably the only game that you're okay with not getting hit in the feels, because it's just fucking hilarious. But every other game like this type of game, if you're not getting like the feels from them, then you just need to not play them, because that's the whole point of them. It's just character development, just constant character development. That's all it is.
And I like that kind of stuff. Like I said, I love the first one, and it really got me into like the walking sim style game, because I hated games like that before. But after playing Life is Strange, I started looking at them more deeply. And there's a bunch now. Like the Edith Finch one is like super popular right now. I still haven't tried that one, but
did you ever play the first season of Walking Dead?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that one too.
That's the one that I tell everybody to play. I mean, because even if you don't like zombies, I mean, let's be real, The Walking Dead is just a soap opera with zombies anyway. The show.
Which is why I like it, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't really give a fuck about zombies anymore. It's a saturated market.
I just want to see like their character development and watch them kind of suffer. And yeah, the first season of that one, I really did enjoy. And I played that one after I played Life is Strange, because I like Life is Strange. And I was told you got to check it out. And then I heard like the Tales of the Borderlands one and all the Telltale ones I heard were pretty good. So I might go check out some of the other ones, because there's Tales of the Borderlands. There's a bunch now, right?
Yeah, there's like a Game of Thrones one. There's a Batman one that I haven't played. There's even
there's
a
a
fucking Minecraft.
I was just gonna say there's a fucking Minecraft one. So you know what? There's everything.
Fuck that. I mean, I'm not playing that one, but yeah.
What?
The Wolf Among Us is really good. It's kind of weird. If you want just like realistic stuff, you wouldn't like it maybe, but it's a good game. I think it's a good game and a good story.
Yeah, Cassandra was talking about that one too, I think.
Yeah, the thing about Telltale games is, I mean, you're basically just playing them for the story, because once you play the first one, you pretty much know just about how every other one is going to play. There's no new mechanics in these different Telltale games. It's just, it's the same fucking game, just with different characters and stories. Well, I'm fine with that.
That's kind of why I was disappointed in Senua Sacrifice, Hellblade, because it gave you some type of gameplay, and there was a really strong, like they could have made that game so great, because the story is just crazy. but it kind of was just more of just like can you play that game as like a Telltale series and get the same effect? And I think you could, and it kind of felt like a waste of time, you know, because you kind of you try to like get into the systems, but it doesn't really flesh it out, and you really just want to hear the story. Where the Telltale series, they're like, you just want to hear the story, so we're just gonna make it as easy as possible. It kind of adds some like weird choice system, and that's it. And I think that game could have been served better in that manner. All right, let's talk about what should we talk about? Let's talk about Mario Rabbids first, and then we'll talk about Destiny 2 after.
Mario Rabbids.
Mario Rabbids.
So I'm gonna put up some footage that Doobie has so kindly given us, and go ahead and talk about it, Doobs. You've been playing this.
Can I just say one thing really quickly before I forget this? Okay, once we're old, once we either completely made it as a channel or we have failed as a channel and we're all 80 years old and like heading to our graves, I'm going to go back and make a super cut of every fucking time Wayne says Mario. Just make a huge super
He
cut.
says his own fucking name. Oh, whatever. I'm gonna shut up so Doobie can talk about this game.
I didn't even notice that I said it until you just
It's so
said
good.
something.
No, it's great. It's just I just want to make a super cut, just like
Please do.
the legacy of Wayne Walker, Mario.
Mario 1,000 times. All right. Well, Mario. Go ahead, talk about it.
Mario and Rabbids. This game, I mean, the worst kept secret Nintendo has ever had. The idea seemed ridiculous to begin with. Taking Mario, mixing with Rabbids. This is the first time Nintendo has ever given Mario, or any of their first party titles, really, to another company to work on. Because this is a Ubisoft game. Nintendo, of course, was in the background. Yeah, this might be a good idea. But they pretty much let Ubisoft work on it. And I hate the Rabbids. I think they're the minions of the video game world. And this game actually makes them decent. The gameplay itself, though, is fantastic. It's like, I haven't played XCOM, but from what I hear, it's very similar to the XCOM series, where it's that tactical RPG. It's like a 3-party system. So you have, I believe, there's 8 playable characters: Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Yoshi, and then Rabbid versions of them that actually have a lot of charm to them. Like, Rabbid Peach is awesome. I love Rabbid Peach. But yeah, I was recording the footage for it, and I recorded it over an hour worth of footage without realizing it because the gameplay's really fun. Yeah, there's a lot of different mechanics. There's a lot of different things. I don't know where you are in the video, but
where you were like being like you're like leading them with some turtle, and now you're talking to Beepo.
Yeah, Beepo is he's kind of like you're not actually moving the characters. They're following, like, Beepo's like the cursor. So It's really interesting. There's a lot of different aspects, and it's not tutorial heavy, which I like because it really emphasizes both exploration and experimentation. So they give you just a basic understanding of how the game works, and then they kind of just go, here, have fun, try, see what works. And I expect later in the game I'm probably going to fail a bunch of missions, but overall, I'm actually really impressed by this, and I'm impressed by Ubisoft, and in my general feelings lately, Ubisoft's kind of killing it. After their E3 was really successful, I think they had one of the best shows of E3. Beyond Good and Evil 2, the fight they're having right now with Vivendi, who's trying to take them over, and then working with Nintendo like this, I think this is kind of the year of Ubisoft.
Except that $200 Assassin's Creed.
That $200 Assassin's Creed thing is really stupid.
Yeah.
But in general, Ubisoft, I think, is definitely on they're on the upward trend right now.
So you haven't played XCOM.
I've never played XCOM, but it's on my list after playing this of games I want to
Oh
play.
man, you really need to play XCOM.
Yeah, like that's one
Play-
strategy game that I'm not a big turn-based strategy game guy. That's one that I absolutely love. XCOM.
Definitely
Yeah.
play Enemy Unknown before
Yeah.
you play the second one. The second one, I like the second one, but they have this like every mission is like a time mission kind of thing, and that's kind of aggravating.
It's
Because
super
when
hard.
because when you play XCOM, like your whole thing is like, I want to be really strategic. I want to move slow. I want to cover angles. I want to get in full cover. And then in XCOM 2, they're like, hey, guess what? Bombs going off. You got like a minute and a half to beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Have
one's
fun.
like
Well, because there's a lot of more depth in XCOM too. Like you can't like you're supposed to like, well, maybe not supposed to, but like you have to find your enemies. They're not just there. You know what I mean? Like you have to like sneak around and try to put into position. Then like you can also trigger them basically, where you can like set up a defensive position and like get one person to drag them back, things like that. And the other thing is everyone in XCOM can die.
I kind of did that in the last mission that I recorded, which was like an escort mission with Toad, where like I'm down to just Mario essentially because Toad can attack, and these enemies called Smashies that have like these giant slabs they smash. They're slow moving, they hit hard, and when you attack them, they actually do an auto move where they move close to you after you attack them. So I just set up Mario to just focus on attacking them to drag them towards him and away from Toad's range so Toad could get to the end of the goal. And I clutched it out. And I'm like, okay, that's this strategy. Like, they don't tell you to do that. I came up with that strategy through playing.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I
man.
really like that they give you those options to just you play the way you want to play.
Now
just imagine that those Smashies were called chrysalids and they moved 3 times the amount.
Oh my god, is that what they do in XCOM?
Yeah,
no,
they're called
XCOM is
chrysalids.
insane.
They're called chrysalids and they can move half a map
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
and
much.
And
fucking
hit
one
like a
shot
truck?
you.
Oh god.
Yeah,
like
that's
it's a
gonna be
lot.
fun.
It's really hard.
Yeah,
Like, towards the end of the
motherfucker,
game.
Enjoy your terror mission.
Yeah, this is only like the second world out of I think like 5 worlds or 4 worlds.
so that's what I want to ask. Are you finding this difficult? Are you finding it challenging?
It is. I would say it's challenging, especially for somebody who's not familiar with that XCOM style. And I will say, like my cons are few and far in between so far, and they're mostly just convenience cons. And by that I mean like I'm spoiled by Fire Emblem, where you can select a unit and it shows like the area of danger. Where can you move without really being within the enemy's range? And with the mechanics in this game where like enemies can, and you can also like use your characters to increase your range by having them throw you or like you jump off of them. Like Luigi's thing is he can like bounce off of 2 people to get a huge amount of range. But like when you look at the enemies where they can move and attack, it doesn't take into account if they can be thrown by another enemy. So you'd never really know where's safe and where isn't. And that's part of the challenge. I do enjoy that. Like I said, Fire Emblem kind of spoiled me with that. So I would say don't go into it thinking Fire Emblem if you've never played like a tactical RPG besides Fire Emblem. You need to really look at it differently.
Does it have there's no way in hell it has permadeath though, right?
No, God, no.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, how are you going to permadeath Mario?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, man. We're throwing parallels to Fire Emblem and fucking XCOM together, and there's permadeath in both of those games.
Yeah,
there is
like,
HP in between missions, so like if you like insert like it's basically separated into like chapters. So you like the classic Mario, like 1-1, you have like 2- whatever, 1- whatever. So in some of them they're only 1 fight, some of them are like 2 or 3 fights. So in between like those fights, if you took a lot of damage, you're actually not going to get healed. So you're going into the next fight with lower HP, which makes it a little harder. But it also encourages you to switch your units out for other units because they come in with full HP, and pretty much gives you a reason to experiment with different units out of the 8 total, which are they're all unique in their own right. I think Mario is kind of like your all-around balanced character. Luigi's a sniper. Rabid Luigi is kind of like a debuff, and Rabid Peach is shield and healing.
I think I'm gonna.
That's
pick
what I have
this
so
up.
I
think I'm gonna pick this up. It looks.
Dude,
watching
no,
it
I
play-
mean, like, I'm having a lot of fun, and like I said, I played an hour. I didn't even realize an hour went by. I forgot I was recording. I was just having fun playing it.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
mean, XCOM for Switch is something I would kill for, and this
And
is
it's
the next
portable.
best thing. Yeah, so
And it's
I'm
portable.
interested.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. Is like, I like XCOM games. I would definitely buy this just because I can take it anywhere.
And it's essentially, I'm
yeah.
watching it.
And
It's
this-
the exact same game. It's
This
the
is a
exact
game
same
that a lot of people
But
wrote
no
off, and I kind of wrote it off too, like coming into it, thinking like Rabbids Mario RPG, like that sounds awful. And you know what? I will eat my crow happily. It's a fun game.
I honestly think if you have the XCOM system, you have a winning game. It's such a strong system.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a couple suggestions out there before we move on, or if we're about to move on, or whatever, or if we're not, that's fine too. But one, if you're just getting into XCOM and you want to either figure out how to play or just be thoroughly entertained, there's a YouTuber called Beagle Rush. He is very fucking entertaining, and I would suggest you watch his original Impossible Iron Man series. It's really funny. He's hilarious, and yeah, it's just a really good watch. And two, if you like games like this and you've played XCOM and you've played the Mario Rabbids or Mario Rabbids or whatever, and you want to
Mario
check,
Rabbids.
and you want to check out something else, and you wouldn't mind maybe like a cyberpunk fantasy setting, there's these games called Shadowrun on Steam. They're really cheap and they're really good. I would pick up Dragon's Reach or Hong Kong or both.
I will say I really enjoyed Shadowrun, but I've also been playing that game since the original Shadowrun on the Super
Sega
Nintendo.
Genesis? Oh,
It was.
Super
I think
Nintendo.
they were both. There was an SNES and a Genesis version.
Well, to be honest
they were
with you,
different.
it's a tabletop game, is what it is.
Mhm.
And it was just, it was brought over to old console games, and then it just saw a resurgence with the PC games. But they're really cheap on Steam, and they have the whole,
If you
the
like
whole,
Cyberpunk, yeah.
the whole XCOM feel. They really do, and they're really good games, and they have really good story.
Nice.
If you don't mind reading, because there's no voice acting.
All right, let's move on to Destiny 2. I got some footage here from our good friend Cassanda, who go check his stream out on Twitch at Matthew Cassanda, Kocanda. He's a creative streamer mostly, but he also does a lot of gaming, and he's our good friend, and you'll probably see him more on the stream. And this is his footage here on the bottom. And he was playing with you guys. I was unfortunately absent for this. I'm kind of upset. I really wanted to try this beta out. But luckily, it comes out for PS4 tonight, which tomorrow it comes out. And I'm probably going to grab it and play it tonight.
I'm just going to preface this with you're missing out.
Yeah.
On PC, dude, it was so
No.
it felt so good.
If you're buying it for consoles, you're missing out. Like, I did play it a little bit for PS4 at my cousin's. It felt really good on PS4. It feels really good as a console game. It feels 8,000 times better on PC.
Oh my
It's
God.
insane.
I'm probably gonna push back or not get it, not because I don't like it, but because my schedule doesn't, like, I have so many games as it is, and my schedule doesn't really open me up to play with a lot of my friends. And if I'm gonna buy Destiny 2, I want to play with my friends.
Yeah, I think the bulk of us are going to be playing on PC. But I mean, I was looking at the we were talking about this, I believe, when they released the specs for the beta, and the specs are actually really fucking super low. And I could really tell because my PC, what I game on my PC is not that powerful, but it's good enough to where it does what I want it to do. And I mean, it was running 60 frames steady, smooth.
How does
I
it
mean-
feel as a keyboard mouse game?
Oh,
Amazing.
It's really good.
Really
Yeah,
good?
no,
Okay.
like,
Well,
it
it's a
feels
first-person
amazing.
shooter.
I'm thinking if I do eventually hop into Destiny 2, I'm gonna wait until my rebuild, and once the rebuild happens, it'll probably be the first game I buy.
I mean, I'm running that I'm running basically the generic mid-range PC. Like I have that PC that is, I have $1,000 to buy a mid-range PC. It's, it's an Ryzen R5. It's NVIDIA 970. It's the standard mid-range parts. I could run this game at 144 hertz.
Will it run on my 650 Ti?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, like, I was looking at some of the stats on Digital Foundry, and I mean, they're getting this thing. It's crazy how optimized it is, and
yeah,
I feel
like hyper optimized.
Anytime it's like where it's like EA or a Microsoft game, and they're like partnered with Microsoft, their games are super optimized. So I'm thinking maybe a lot of these optimizations are like on the Microsoft side and not really just like PC hardware. It's really just like an OS thing, because like this game, if it's running this smooth at some of these specs, then it's just crazy optimized.
Yeah, I can see that, because the other thing too is it looks beautiful. Like, it's not even that it's it's built for performance. Like, no, it still looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it really does. I had some I don't know, I was doing a lot of personal stuff when the beta was going on, so I didn't get as much time to play it, but I did play through the story missions for all 3 classes, which I liked playing Guardian the most. That was pretty fun.
They redid them a bit, and like the Titan thing, they're really good now.
Yeah, dude. Like, it was I was really, I don't know, I was really impressed, because when I was watching the I don't know, the cinematographic or whatever, the movie aspect of it, I guess. I was like, oh, okay, this isn't going to look, huh?
What's a cinematographic?
I don't know.
What the fuck is that?
The cinematography.
The cinematography.
It's my WebM GIF, okay?
Yeah,
I'm really good at GIFs, all right?
when I was just watching the movie aspect of the story mode, I was like, oh, dude, this looks really good. It's not going to look this good when I start playing the game, though. I already know that. And then you get into the game and you're like, damn, this still looks really good. It looks as good as what I just watched. But yeah, man, it's just insane. like immediately, as soon as I started moving around and shooting, I immediately was like, oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
This is it's like you just jump and you're doing the whole tribes thing where you got your jetpack and you're just, oh man.
Did they have any patrols in the beta?
Mm-hmm. Oh, in the beta, I know they had them in the first one.
One of my things with the original Destiny was like patrols just always felt really dull and repetitive.
They just had a basic strike for PC. They just had a basic strike, and then PvP, and then competitive PvP.
That's what I'm excited about. Destiny got really old really quickly when I first played the first one. I was in it as soon as it came out. I pre-ordered it. I got into it, and I played for like 2-3 months, I'd say, like every single day. Had a little core group of friends that I played with, and it got super old super quick. So I'm hoping that this has a lot more variants, and I know that they figured it out, because I hear the expansions that came out kind of fixed all those repetitive issues. And I'm more excited on PvP. That's really where I was having a lot more fun in Destiny, was on that end. Like,
I heard that the original Destiny didn't even get that good until Taken King came out.
Yeah, it didn't. Like, in my opinion, at least. Yeah.
I got into that game way too late. Most of my friends already passed. It was just me, and as a solo game, it's not that great.
Well, that's what I was mentioning earlier, like when we were talking before the show. I think this, like, on the computer PC version, is going to be worth it, even 6 months down. If it's, $20 on, like, I guess it's not going to be a Steam sale, but, Blizzard sale or whatever. Because, like, the gunplay on PC feels good. It feels very smooth. It feels very good. You put your cursor there, it's there. It's super responsive. And the PvP felt good. Even though it is peer-to-peer, I was going into this expecting it to be shit. Like, especially, okay, you told me peer-to-peer. God, when's the last time Activision made a good PC game? like Black Ops 3 was all right, but before that it was like, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, maybe.
Well, I'd say that most Call of Duty, they figured out a good, like
they figured out Call of Duty, but
Call of Duty feels good. Like when you play Call of Duty, it feels good. And I think
this feels better though.
Yeah, I think peer-to-peer, they figured out how to make it work because that's the way that they're all doing it now. There's no more there's no point in having dedicated servers. You can kind of just run the cloud service, and it's just whatever. It works fine now. It
felt way better than I was expecting it to. And the PvP, I think, is going to have longevity because, how good it felt, it's going to have a shelf life to me. Like, it feels like you're playing Overwatch or Counter-Strike. Like, it feels of that quality and, like, the gunplay and stuff. And that, to me, it's going to have a shelf life because, it's 4v4 arena shooter. It feels like you're playing Halo, but with, like, proper controls, like the PvP aspect of it.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna pre-order it tonight on PS4 and then you said it comes out when on PC?
October 24th.
October 24th, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Why?
That's the downside.
They made the game on PC.
Hopefully the bugs are they have it nice and ready and clean.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the other thing too.
That's why they stagger the releases to lessen the load on the servers. Well,
that's something I was really impressed with too. I know the beta is really limited. Like, we didn't get to see much, and I'm happy about that because it's the love-hate because I didn't have any bugs. I did hear Kosanda, he mentioned one bug on uncapped frame mode sometimes, but outside of that, like, it was not a buggy experience. And I'm really happy with that. I was expecting them to, it's a huge undertaking what they're trying to make. I expected there still to be definitely more glitches or just like, little things that some dude on the internet found. Okay, here's a way to, clip through a wall, just little things like that always happen with these big MMO scale games.
Knowing Twitter and Reddit, like anything like that would have been blown the hell up. And I didn't see anything. So
yeah, no, it performed really damn good.
No news is good news for them.
Yeah, I clipped through a wall one time. Shit game, terrible.
Dude, you'd be surprised with today.
In a beta.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean like it makes it a bad game, but it was just like I expected it. I expected there to be something. Yeah. Exactly. I expected there to be at least a couple of bugs, and it was like, no. Okay, what?
This game definitely has a lot of hype coming into it. It's got a lot of money. They made shit loads of money on the first one. And it's Bungie. And they have all these like package deals with Blizzard and Microsoft. There's just so much going into this that it's just destined to succeed just on the sheer fact that it's a gigantic release. And I like these kind of games. I like arena shooters. I like Destiny 1, and I am excited to see how they kind of changed up the way you do things in this one. So I'm super hype on it. It looks super fucking just great. Like
it feels great. The biggest thing though that I am annoyed with is because October 24th, like the thing that I praised them a lot and was really happy with was with the beta. They didn't show you anything on any of the betas really. They showed you very minimal, and I was like, cool, that's awesome because like the funnest part of MMOs and looter shooters and like, Diablo, things like that. Like when a looter based objective game is new, the funnest part is like figuring everything out. So now with the PC, it's like, cool, it's coming out 2 months later. Guess what? Everything's going to be figured out.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Just
like
just don't watch any streamers.
No,
just got to go in blind, man.
It's going to be everywhere. Like Cassandra's going to be playing it. He said, I was talking to him about it, and he in his main rating group or whatever that he played Destiny 1 with is still going to be playing on PS4, even though he's buying it for both. He's going to, to play with us. And he was like, man, the only thing is it's going to come out later for PC, and I'm already going to know all the raids and everything when you guys get on. I told him, I was like, man, I said, if it comes out early on PS4, we'll already know all of the raids and everything ahead of time. So it doesn't matter anyway. So, not only that, but we're probably going to pass him anyway on the PC version because he's going to be playing on PS4 and PC.
It's just like the little things like that where it's just like, I don't know, that is a lot of the fun to those kinds of games too, is like, especially if they feel really good, but it's like, oh, I got this new weapon. In this case, it's a gun and it has these stats. Like, is this actually better? Like, it's like on tooltip, it says it's better, but does like, if I'm facing this type of enemy, is it actually better? Like things like that. And then we're just going to, by the time it's out, it's just gonna be like, no, you want this, you want this, you want this, you want this.
Yeah. I got you.
That was the problem with the first one for me. It's like I wanted to like enjoy the exploration and kind of finding the loot and figuring out different builds, and it quickly turned into just like you need this, this, and this to win, and you need this, this, and this to raid. And I was just like, I'd rather just fucking go PvP then and just kind of just wreck people. But I am a different kind of gamer, I guess, and I do want to see kind of how they're taking this MMO aspect in the second one a lot more seriously. Remember when it first dropped, when it was first at E3, the first one, people thought it was going to be an actual MMO where you just like walked into like a battle or something, and now it's actually turning into that, which is fucking awesome.
I dig raids, so
and
I
this
feel
map that I'm looking at now is just gorgeous. It's like a Chinatown city area. This is insane.
I dig raids, so like that's where I'm excited for this game when I do eventually probably pick it up. It's just doing raids. It's what I like about MMOs without what I hate about MMOs.
Yeah. All right. Destiny 2 comes out tonight.
Yeah.
Which is today.
Or in 2
on
months.
PS4, or 2 months for PSC.
There is rumors with that too, that the first expansion is going to be December.
Also, only 30 FPS on PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One X. So if you're on console, you are not getting 60 frames, but it's okay because the first one was 30 frames and it ran fine. And
I'm pretty certain that 30 FPS lock is because of the basic PS4 and Xbox One S.
Oh yeah, for 100%.
They're gonna get
100%.
Or you can wait 2 months and then play it with a 144 hertz monitor at a beautiful 144 frames per second.
Yeah, dude, it ran really nice. It looked really nice above 30 frames on PC on that beta.
I'm curious to see what would the bigger demographic be, if it would be console or PC.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be PC.
I don't know. I think it's still gonna have a really big console base.
Oh yeah,
because it already has a huge ingrown console base. My cousin and both of his roommates started playing Destiny. They all went out and bought PlayStation 4 Pros and 55-inch HD 4K TVs for all three of them to put in their living room, and all they did was play Destiny.
God,
yeah, and
dude.
you think it,
and they're all PC Master Race gamers at heart.
And it's not like Counter-Strike, it's not like where you need a complete accurate precision and you need those frames. I mean, it's really just kind of like put your cursor here and just kind of fire at a shitload of enemies. So in that sense, it does work on console. It's a lot like Halo, and how Halo was successful because of that. So, that said, I think over time, PC is probably going to overtake it. Over time, and especially if they make a third one, and now that they're going to have an ingrown PC base, PC is going to overtake it. It just feels so much fucking better. And it already feels really great on console. Awesome. Let's move on to news. Battlefield 1 Russian DLC September 19th gets released. Which I'm actually excited about. I love Battlefield 1. I haven't played it in a while, though, and I think this might get me back into it. If you've seen trailers, it's basically this fucking huge Russian kind of snowy expansion, and it's gonna be dope.
That's kind of the thing with the shooter market, though. I feel like it's so saturated that if you don't just pump out your content as quick as possible, people just forget about your game.
Oh yeah,
because Battlefield 1 was a really good game when it came out, but now
Overwatch kind of took its steam,
Yeah, now you Destiny. You got Overwatch. It came out. People are going to always play Overwatch, though. Destiny 2 coming up. Call of Duty World War II.
Yeah.
I think. Well,
yeah, it's definitely a tough market, that's for sure.
Yep.
But I will say Battlefield 1 is probably one of the better ones, in my opinion. I like it a lot. And I'm excited for it. I don't. Will I stop playing Destiny 2 for Battlefield 1? It's whichever one. I mean, if Destiny 2 sucks, then who knows? But looks like it's gonna be pretty dope. It's gonna be £23. Actually, no, it's gonna come out at £40, but you can get a pre-order an expansion pack. What?
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm done with this story.
Welcome to EA, dude. Should have bought that season pass and only doubled the price of the game.
Hey, yo, man, we heard you like content that could have been in the game, but we held it off for later.
Well, I will say they have, in their defense, they have gotten better at that, that at least they've gotten past that point where a lot of the stuff they are adding, it wouldn't have been in the game. It is just new content. So I'll give them some credit for that. It's still overpriced, in my opinion, but it's only want to pay $120 for a game.
Shovel Knight, King of Cards, 2018. Now, wait, what is this? This is just another campaign, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like the whole Spectre Knight, Plague Knight thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at the images and there's a card game. I was like, wait, did they turn it into a card game? I fucking swear to God if they did that. But it's just a mini game, I guess.
Yeah, it's a mini game, card game. I don't know. I mean, I'm just ready for Shovel Knight 2 or something else from the company.
Yeah,
Dude, King of Cards looks so good.
When I got my Switch, I had Shovel Knight and I had Zelda. I played Zelda, then I played Shovel Knight, and I was like, I gotta beat Shovel Knight. And that was I actually played Shovel Knight over Zelda when I first got the Switch.
Have you played the Plague Knight or Spectre Knight campaign?
I played Spectre Knight, but I haven't finished it. I haven't played the other one.
Plague Knight's really fun too. And then of course, I think next year is the last one, which is King Knight's campaign.
Yeah,
this is King of Cards.
I'm down. I was watching trailers. It looks good.
And then who knows what they're gonna do from here going forward. But you know what? It's like the one time I actually trust what a Kickstarter like where they first started from. Like I trust where they're going.
Dead Rising 4 coming to PS4 this holiday season. It used to be an Xbox exclusive.
And it sold awful. Did it crack 500,000 sales?
It's not a very good game, to be honest. I'm not a big Dead Rising fan.
I didn't
Capcom. Capcom. That's all I gotta say.
I didn't even know that Dead Rising 4 was a thing already. Like, the last one that I played was 3, and I didn't really like it all that much. I mean, I liked the first one. I had the first one. I really like the second one. I think that's pretty much general consensus, though, is like the second one is the best. I didn't know that 4 had already came out, but yeah, apparently it's coming over, I guess.
It's all right. It's like a mini game. It's like a long mini game.
Yeah, you can only play Dead Rising for so long.
Yeah,
because it's just all the same shit.
And they made 4 of them. What the fuck?
Pretty much. It's like you should have just stopped at 2, probably.
This is some Destiny 2 news. First raid goes live 1 week after its launch. You get in on that, which is after its console launch. First raid. So expect to see that and how to beat it in all its glory on PC 2 months later.
Still probably have a week, though, for that on PC, I would guess. I think, I don't know, especially now that they've like half teamed up with Blizzard, I think they've learned from Blizzard how to do the expansions a little better is what I'm hoping.
Yeah, release one big expansion with a bunch of content and then slowly release the raids over time.
Yeah, like that, but also like the way I heard someone explain it that I thought was pretty good is it's like the expansion, since they are cheaper, they're a lot like, content patches in World of Warcraft. So like, instead of buying the whole entire expansion and just getting all the content patches by paying a subscription, you're just buying the expansion, which would be like, like say there's a major patch in World of Warcraft, like 7.3 that came out. So that would be the expansion pack. and then you just get 7.2.5 for free, which would be the raid unlocking.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Capcom's new Puzzle Fighter coming to mobile.
Yeah, boy.
I'm not,
Dude,
I don't know too much about this story.
No, did you never play Puzzle Fighter back in the day on
Super
PlayStation?
Puzzle Fighter 2?
I've played Puzzle Fighter.
Yeah, I mean it's totally a mobile game. I can see it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
I've been getting into some mobile games. You know, when you do a lot of moving around and you can't bring all your shit. You just got your phone. We're getting into some mobile games. There's some good ones
that's
out
why
there.
you bought a Switch.
I know, but it's like I'm still not ready to just whip it out yet and start playing Switch like on the fucking
on the like in the street.
Too afraid to just whip it out in public.
It's like if I go to like a coffee shop and I'm with a couple people, I'm staying there for a while, I'll bring a Switch, but
this is America.
I
Somebody
can.
will just fucking jack it out of your hands on the street.
You're telling me you don't go to rooftop parties and bring your Switch?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I'm not that cool yet.
I mean, I was never really a big mobile gamer. I think the only mobile game that I really played was like back when I smoked a lot of pot. I would play. I would get really high and play like Angry Birds at work and shit. I mean, that's the only that's the only mobile game I ever really played. But
I play the
prefaces was it was so great that you had to smoke weed to be able to play it.
Yeah, dude, it wasn't a great game. It was just something to do, you know. But I mean, with the advent of like newer, like more in depth, I guess, mobile games like the new Fire Emblem, or not new anymore, but it was Fire Emblem. I just downloaded it. I still haven't played it.
It's gotten to the point though where they're offering like free draws for heroes. You know, that's when like a mobile game's starting to die.
I've played a bit of Pokemon and like the Fire Emblem quite a bit. I still just, if I'm going to play a mobile game, it's probably an emulator.
Just wait until the Animal Crossing mobile game comes out. That thing's going to go crazy.
Or we got another later on the news, we got another mobile game that you might like. But I can definitely see Puzzle Fighter being a mobile game. This doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, it surprised me in the fact that I was like, oh shit, they brought Puzzle Fighter back.
They remembered Puzzle Fighter. That's a shock.
People remember this game. But yeah, I could like even the old PlayStation game, I could see like them just porting that to mobile and it'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah.
I can see this happening. It's like a better Puzzle Quest.
It's pretty crazy how those games can now just like be on your fucking phone. All right. Anyways, Capcom re-released Street Fighter 2 on SNES cartridge.
This is pretentious as fuck, dude. I saw this and I was like, dude, this looks kind of cool. And then I scrolled down and they're like, we're going to charge you $100. All right. Fuck
hey,
you.
Man. It's all about the collector's item.
I was going to say, so it's just, all they doing is re-releasing the old cartridge.
Yeah, that's it. They're just re-releasing Street Fighter 2 on original SNES cartridge for $100. It's red now, if that makes you feel better. It wouldn't make me feel better. It's like at least put it in just the regular gray, I guess. I don't want that tacky bullshit. For $100.
Wait, question. Is that on the SNES they're remaking?
I think it is. Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, is that on the new little SNES they're making for $70 that also has 23 other games?
They sure to God hope not, because they kind of just neutered themselves if they agreed to that. By the way, it looks like they're going to make 4,550 copies in the red to match Ryu's headband and 1,000 copies printed in translucent glow-in-the-dark Blanca green.
Yeah, Street Fighter 2 is definitely on SNES Classic.
It is? Okay, yeah. Why would you do that and then come out with this? I know it's like a collector thing, a collector item.
You, that's a huge thing now. It is like luxury.
Welcome to nostalgia.
Yeah.
So my vinyl record, it's going to go on my vinyl record player.
There's
vinyl's seen a resurgence.
Dude, I
Like
have
lately.
Vinyl.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, this
I
is
mean,
like video
I
game
understand
vinyl.
it.
Well, what's
I
cool
got a
about
vinyl
vinyl
collection right back there.
What's cool about vinyl is like it can always
It actually
it'll always
sounds
work.
good though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it'll always work, right?
It's not
Where it's
like I don't gotta bust out my SNES and then my 3 adapters I'm gonna need to even be able to get it to connect to a TV.
Right.
Oh, man.
Like that's one thing with audio. It's like there's just like one standard, and it's always been the same. It'll never change, hopefully. But
I don't know. Let's ask Apple and Essential Phone and everyone else.
no, don't ask them. So they're gonna give you an answer you don't want.
Oh, I know.
Like legit though, like I wouldn't even say this is a collector's item because it's like a repress is what it is. It's a repressing. It's not going to be worse shit.
That's
It'd be
actually what I was
cool to
thinking.
have,
Yeah.
I guess. But
They wouldn't have made it if they didn't think it was gonna sell, right?
Oh, it'll sell.
it'll sell.
That's the
But,
only
like-
reason why it's there.
I was thinking that too. I'm happy you said that because that's what I was thinking too. It's just like, okay, when people, especially like people who want like say vinyl collections and stuff, do you want the first press or do you want the 8th press?
Yeah, exactly. Like me personally, I don't really care. I'm not really in a collector market for vinyl. I just like listening to vinyl. So
Right.
I can buy like a fucking 12th press, version.
And usually that's the better one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I actually have like a fucking, I don't know, it's like 5th pressing of Pink Floyd's The Wall. I mean, I enjoy it. I like it. It's good enough for me. I'm not really trying to sell it at any time. I don't care if it's worth anything.
Helps
well, that's
lower
what I'm
Loco's
saying, like-
journey to be a DJ.
You the later ones are usually like the mastered versions, or they're on
Yeah.
like 180 gram vinyl, so it sounds better.
I mean, I have a couple of first press I don't listen to. I don't touch them. They're in a nice sealed, protected environment because they're worth money to me now, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think about one of the only first pressings I really have that I'm really proud of is I have a Melvin's
Nice.
bullhead.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's really nice. But yeah, this reprinting old ass cartridges for SNES and charging $100. No, man, get off that shit.
Did they even like do their due diligence and make sure there's even that many SNESs that'll turn on?
I swear to God, man. I don't know.
All right.
Well, there's your speed running market.
Nindy's
Really-
lineup 2018 shows promise.
Oh,
It
dude,
looks
this
good.
shit looks so
It looks good.
I did
Dumbest
that, like,
fucking
three-
name in the world.
3
but it looks
words
good.
Indies.
for you. No more heroes.
No more heroes, my dude. I
Dude,
saw that.
51 is he's insane. I can't wait.
Oh man, I saw that as soon as I clicked on the article link and it took me to this page and the first thing I saw was Travis strikes again, no more heroes. I was like, oh damn. Shit.
And they're working with 6 different indie developers. Essentially, the game has Travis going into a haunted game thing, and he's got to play in these worlds like Shovel Knight's in there, and Hotline Miami, which Hotline Miami has never been on Nintendo. Like, it's not a Nintendo thing. This is like the first time we're getting a Hotline on Nintendo as well.
Have you ever played
Through-
Hotline Miami?
I love
Oh,
that
God,
game.
It's so good.
The fucking greatest game
Oh.
ever.
And soundtrack.
I'm so surprised that Nintendo is allowing that on there.
I know Hotline 2 got shit, like not being. I love Hotline 2 as well. Like that whole, I love those games.
I
And
mean,
now you're adding Travis touchdown to that. Like I'm in.
yeah, it looks good. You can also crucify me, but I kind of really want to try Golf Story.
Dude, I'm actually Golf Story. Like I thought it looked stupid, but the more I'm looking at it, I'm like, I could totally see myself playing this
Yeah.
if the price is right.
Well, I mean,
And it's an indie game, so the price is probably going to be right.
two things. I mean, collectively between the three of us, I don't think Wayne ever played with us, but collectively on Golf with Friends, we probably have like 2,000 hours. I have that 10,000 stroke achievement. I think Jerry has that achievement
Yep.
too. So I mean, we play a lot of fucking
Yes,
mini
it's
golf
true.
and shit. So I mean,
Yeah, it's RPG golf.
But yeah, this
to be
is
fair-
like RPG. It looks like Stardew Valley, and it's like you actually do other stuff. Like, yeah, dude, sure, dude.
and not only that, but one of my favorite mini games in an RPG ever was Dark
Peggy
Cloud 2.
7.
You can golf in the dungeons.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm down. I'm down for this.
Dude, Super Meat Boy Forever. I
I'm
know
not
it's an
excited for that
auto-runner.
game.
I know it's an auto-runner, and a lot of people have been turned off by it, but I think it looks cool.
I'm
I'm willing to
not
try it.
excited for that game.
Is it because it's an auto-runner?
runner? Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's an auto runner. I'm not
to be
excited for it.
To
Wait, the
be
first one
fair-
wasn't though, right? The first
It
one
was
was
not.
platforming.
No, it wasn't.
But to be fair, I'm excited to see what Team Meat, McMullen and the other guy, I can't remember his name. I'm excited to see what they do with that formula, because if anyone can make it difficult and enjoyable, it would be them. They did a really good job with the original Meat Boy. So
They also did a really
I'm
good
willing
job
to
on,
give it a shot because of what they've done in the past. But I feel like at this point, if you really want Super Meat Boy, you might as well play The End Is Nigh.
Yeah, pretty much. They also did a really good job on Cuphead, didn't they?
Oh, we will find out later down in the
Oh,
show.
we're gonna definitely talk about that shit.
This Morphe's Law looks pretty cool too.
Morphe's Law looked really weird. I guess there's a place for more shooters, but it's
On Switch, for sure there is.
There's
Yeah,
always
it
a
just-
place
it
for more
looks-
shooters, bro.
it looks really weird. I want to know more about it. I'm not sold on it yet.
Steam World Dig 2 is pretty
And I finally got a
interesting.
release date too, so
Yeah.
And
we're not. I
Floor
don't know if I got a
Kids.
date, but
I mean,
All right, so let me talk about Floor Kids because I've been seeing this in production for like 20 years now. I follow Kid Koala, who's the guy who did all the music for this game, and I've been following him since I was a kid. And he's been doing this thing called Floor Kids. I want to say since like 2002, like fucking forever. Since he's been on Ninja Tune, I don't even think that record label's around anymore.
Wasn't Vin Diesel an original Floor Kid?
I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Is that?
I am Floor Kid.
No, like Vin Diesel, like before he became an actor, he did like breakdancing videos.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, look that up, dude. It's pretty hilarious.
I think I'm gonna.
Now I kind of want to watch Vin Diesel breakdance.
Yeah,
I
and
thought I'd
this,
say that.
this Floor Kids game, I kind of just want to get it just because I've seen it in production forever. It doesn't.
I mean-
it's just like a breakdancing game, but
Yeah, it's a breakdancing rhythm game, and they're apparently they're brand new tracks from Kid Koala. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
cool. I dig that scene.
yeah, he's been in like I know he did like the art too because he did like a book, like a story book thing with like a soundtrack to it. I don't know, it's pretty cool. So I'm kind of interested in that. I think that's awesome for him. The dude's gotta be,
Something-
like 50 now.
something I think's kind of cool though, at least like going through this list and stuff, is like this list in some ways, at least to me, could arguably, there's definitely an argument, but some of this list looks more compelling than the big games that are supposed to be coming out for the Switch, which to me is awesome.
Well, the thing
like,
with
to me, like-
indies, they don't really last too long. You know, you're kind of
Yeah.
in and out with an indie, so it's kind of like
I know, but
Yeah.
like some of them actually seem like a lot more compelling to me.
I
Like
know.
I know some of these seem like they'd be a lot more better than. I mean, I'm excited for
that's
Mario.
kind of the state where we are in gaming in
Yeah.
general. Like you comparing like AAA to indies, and I personally really love the indie scene more than the main AAA scene.
Well, I mean, what else is coming out for the Switch next year from the big games?
Next year or the end of this year.
Next
So
year,
for next year, new Fire Emblem,
Shimigami Tensei,
SMT
probably.
5, which I'm assuming it's 5. They haven't confirmed it yet, but let's be honest, it's probably SMT 5. An RPG from Square Enix, that Octopath Traveler. Pokemon, maybe I think 2018, because I think Prime
Pokemon's
4 is going to be
2019.
2019.
I think both of those said they were 2019.
You think they're both 2019?
Yeah,
I could see that definitely being a thing.
so like that's what I mean. This though is like both those games sound awesome.
I mean, to
but
be
it's,
fair, it's also September of 2017, so
Yeah, but you'd have an
Nintendo
idea.
works.
You'd have an
Yeah.
idea though then, because
Yeah.
like they've been in development then for at least a year.
Yeah, but Yoshi, new Kirby.
Kirby seemed alright, but it's like, all right, here's a list
Yoshi.
where I can pick, I can pick
It's like that Young Yoshi thing.
I can pick 10 games out of this list that actually seem really good and I'm really excited for versus, 4.
Yeah.
That's
that's
something
then
to be
again,
said, though.
like-
And I'm
But
not
that's the thing with-
that's great. That's great that
Yeah.
they have this many new Nintendo like indies that look great.
Yeah, that's
But
kind,
it's
of,
also,
that's
like-
kind of
weird to
the
me.
thing with Nintendo, like with the indies for Nintendo. It's like they have enough big titles separated in a nice time span that there's no super long droughts or even really long droughts in between, and the indies like really fill in those gaps pretty nicely. I think that's a solid game plan.
Well, I wish they had third party because like you got to be
Yeah.
super into
Dude,
Nintendo games.
that's a whole nother thing, especially after the whole EA fiasco with FIFA 18 being not getting all the features because they don't want to quote unquote overwhelm new players. That whole thing I don't understand. 2K18 though, they're putting all the features. There's parity across everything, including the Switch.
Can we
Granted,
touch on?
you need an SD card to actually play it all because 32 gigs of internal space is not enough.
Can we touch on one thing really quick? Can we like really as a community like band together and define the word exclusive? Because I'm looking at Polybridge right now, which is a
Yeah.
huge game on PC. And it just says, bridge building simulator. What more could you ask for? It's a Switch exclusive too. No, it's not.
No, it's been
been
on
out-
Steam
it's
for
an
like
old game.
3
It's
years,
been out for
4
like
years.
a year and a
Yeah.
half.
Same thing with
2
PC
Xbox.
doesn't count,
We had
though,
that whole
yeah.
joke at E3 for Xbox.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Xbox
Doesn't count.
exclusive. Yeah, no, it's exclusive.
It's
PC as
exclusive for a
well.
month. Well, and then
Yeah.
the Xbox exclusives it's exclusive for the launch month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's exclusive to Xbox and also PC.
Yeah.
I mean that's part of the thing that like Nintendo thrives on is straight up nostalgia. Nostalgia, like hardcore. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if we get yet another remake of Red and Blue Pokemon because nostalgia. Why Mario is going back to that style of Super Mario 64. Nostalgia. We're in the age of nostalgia.
I'm so sick of it. I'm not a fan
Oh, it
of nostalgia
sucks.
anymore, man.
But I mean,
I-
to be honest, I am excited for Odyssey.
I
because-
also wasn't a Nintendo kid. Like I'm not. There's no nostalgia there for me. And
I
Nintendo
prefer
64,
PlayStation.
maybe like Smash Brothers, but that's about it. I'm not like
I mean,
that
and
old.
there will be a Smash port. Like that's totally a thing that probably is going to happen in 2018.
They just
and
need
it'll
a new Smash for the Switch called Switch Smash.
That's the problem, though. Is
There's
that
money right
Sac-
there.
And
That's the
they'll
thing, though.
still
Smash
play
Smash.
Melee.
If you look at I'm sorry, if you look, and I have this conversation a lot, but if you look at the development between 64 to Melee, Melee to Brawl, Brawl to Smash 4 on the Wii U, you're looking at like 5 to 6 years, especially since Sakurai, like the producer and the director, he does not stop when it comes to Smash. He actually has worked himself into the hospital before. So, yeah, we're looking at like 2020, 2019 before we even hear of another Smash title.
Worked himself to the hospital. So hard making video games and making billions of dollars on a AAA title. Get out
System.
there and get a goddamn Switch
Man.
Smash right
Hey,
now.
Hey Wayne, how long was your vacation for?
5 days.
5 days.
5 whole days. It was awesome. All right. Walking Dead meets Pokemon Go, an upcoming AR game. All right. Speaking of which,
That's right. You fucking heard that.
Am I- like it's just me as like Walking Dead. Just like I'm over that shit. I've been over that shit.
is just
Yeah.
you, my friend. That's,
Well,
or
I
both of you.
don't.
Wayne,
I like the
Wayne
comics,
had-
but the shows, I just don't like the show anymore.
Not a lot
Wayne
of
tried
people
to
do.
gloss over that shit real quick. You ain't glossing over this.
I am a huge Walking Dead fan, and I like AR because I know Apple's new AR kit is going to change the game when it comes to AR. So finally, we'll get some like real AR in our hands, and we'll see the power of AR.
Can
I want you to scroll
mention
down and look-
God, it's good.
I want you to scroll down and look at this Michonne AR screenshot and tell me this ain't shit.
Dude, that looks so
Legit.
immersive.
Legit
No, what I was
shit.
gonna say though is related to that. There are rumors coming out that Microsoft's gonna release like a version of HoloLens sort of soon, but like a consumer version that's like a mix of AR and VR. So that might be coming out within like a year or so, which that would be cool too, because that would be like a $200, computer-based true entry. You know what I mean?
I still think that the phone is such a good idea for AR, like built into your phone, because that's the problem that we're having in VR. No one wants to fucking buy a goddamn helmet and sit on their computer and set this whole thing up. It's such a high entry level thing. You know what I mean? Like,
I was about to say, I'd love to do
insane.
it, but I can't afford it.
Yeah, you either can't afford it, or people are just like, what is this? Like, well, I have to set all this stuff up. So like on your
PS4
phone,
still the
it's
cheapest
genius.
option into VR?
Yeah. Well, Oculus is getting cheaper. Vive is just
They're
dropping
both
the
getting
price.
cheaper. They both drop. All three of them dropped in price.
that,
Actually,
that was one of the things I knew. Like, it was gonna take a while, but once the price started to drop, that's when you're gonna start seeing quality start to rise as well.
Yeah. On the console, it's probably your like PS4 VR is easily the biggest selling one.
yeah.
And it just makes sense because you got to make it easy for people,
I mean,
I don't have my VR helmet or my VR goggles here because it's just like this whole thing I got to bring over to the office, and I can only use it at my office because the computers at home aren't powerful enough to run it. It's like a whole thing that you have to get into. Like it's 600 or 500 now for the whole set. You probably got to buy another sensor if you want to do room scale. You have to know what room scale is. You got to have at least a $1,500 computer to run it. It's just this extremely crazy thing. But if you build it into someone's phone, it's already there and you're good to go.
We're definitely at least, I think, like, I don't know, 5 years.
That's yeah. Because I
5
mean,
years
like
from
the
being,
phone,
like, at least more like accessible to the public.
because I mean, like the phone is the dream, but that's also the problem. Is like you just described it, that you need all of this. You need that much technology to be able to run it well. Because the problem too with VR and AR is you don't need 60, you need 90. Like for frames per second, things like that. It's even that it takes more and more. So like, it's gonna be a while getting it on the phone. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm hoping it'll be done good.
I think that's why the AR is gonna be so big. We saw already how people really enjoyed it with the Pokemon one for a bit.
Yeah,
And
but
if
that wasn't
you do
true
it
AR.
Yeah, sure.
That
It was AR enough, and I think with Apple's new AR kit, and I've seen some of these tech demos. Like one's like a spray painting app.
The
like,
Minecraft
you
one
just
from
spray
like
paint
2
everywhere.
E3s ago with Xbox and Microsoft with the whole like table and the AR with like being able to move things from Minecraft. I'm like, that's cool.
Well, no, that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's the rumor that might be coming out in the next year.
Yeah,
is that from them where it is fully functional like that. And the cool thing I did hear about that is for like room scale and stuff like that, the rumor is that they have it built into the headset to detect where the scale, like where the scale is.
Yeah, some
so you don't have
do
to put down
now.
sensors. Yeah,
some already have like room scale. Like you just don't need sensors; they're just in the helmet.
So if that keeps going on, I think that would be cool. If it's like a Google Glass type thing, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think in the phone is the best bet, to be honest, because you don't need to run it at 90 frames per second because it's not strapped to your face, right? It's not two separate things, and like you don't like VR is one thing. You need like high frames, you need a lot of power to run everything, but AR essentially is just productivity apps, cool little kind of like engineering apps and stuff. Like it has a lot of potential in commercial and enterprise solutions. So I think it's like that's where we're gonna need to get to that next level of VR and AR, is to like have it so there's certain apps that you just have to have, and iPhone's gonna have that AR kit built in their phones, and people, it's already one of the biggest selling phones, so it's gonna introduce people into that market a lot faster than waiting for everyone to kind of buy a helmet or something.
I actually want to do something for that next week.
What was that?
Related to that, do you want to do something for that next week? Apple the iPhone announcement? Because that's the 12th.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I'm really
forgot.
interested in it just because there's so many rumors. I don't know what they're actually going to do with it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Because I'm still interested too. Is like the AR kit sounds really cool, but then there's they have rumors of 3 phones. Like, is that only going to be limited to the top phone? Like things like that is like
yeah. Maybe we should do
I
like
don't
a
know.
live like watching of it or something. That's a good idea. There's a lot of people interested in like, you think there's only 2 OSs. There's Apple and Microsoft. So and a lot of people have only used one their entire lives. So something new is always exciting. All right, let's move on. Settlers of Catan is coming to VR. I don't know what Settlers of Catan is. Isn't it a board game?
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, dude.
I'm not a
it's
player
great.
of this board game. I'm not
Yes.
that big of a nerd.
So
Dude, no, it's so good.
You should buy a tabletop simulator and we should play Settlers of Catan.
Yeah.
But that being said, like VR Settlers of Catan, I don't know. I mean, unless it's like really immersive, like they put you down in like the landscapes and shit, and you can look around the landscapes. If it's just like a board and you're in VR, I don't know.
I mean, I think it's just kind of a cash grab, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm
Like you
playing
can
Nvidia now.
probably play it just better with like tabletop sim. Because I mean, okay, Settlers of Catan, it's a great game. You also have to remember that I'm pretty sure they'll do anything for money. Because last I checked, there's the base game, and I think they have over 80 versions of base games with expansions. So they have like another like 60 expansion packs you can buy for just the base game. So yeah.
I've never played it. Is it like Risk?
I
played Risk.
Nah. It's more of a building game. Like it has some Risk-ish elements to it, but it'd be more like Monopoly almost than Risk. And not that like you and I mean Monopoly because you're trying to build houses and roads to connect your settlements and like build settlements, and if someone like rolls a certain dice, you do collect, so you are collecting from an establishment you've built, but that's the closest thing.
Yeah, the only connection that Risk and Settlers have is they make you hate your friends.
Yeah.
That's all board games. So I don't play them.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We got a few minutes left. AMD Threadripper 1900X CPU hit stores for $550. Outperforms Ryzen 7 in productivity. I don't think this was very surprising. I think
No, it better have. Like you can already buy an 1800X for $350. I saw that, which was nuts. But people were expecting it to be more similar, I think, just because it's an 8-core versus an 8-core on the Zen architecture, but it had to have performed better. Because with Threadripper, you still have, I think the cheapest Threadripper motherboard's like $320.
They're so expensive.
Yeah, so if you're buying that expensive of a motherboard for just an 8-core, it better be a fucking better 8-core.
No, the cheapest option in the Threadripper family is $550.
No, not the chip, the motherboard. No, that's really. Yeah, okay, it better spank it if you're paying that much for an 8-core, you know what I mean?
It's a productivity machine. If you're in video editing, if you're doing 3D design, all that kind of stuff, chances are your company's paying for this anyway. So they know that. It's their first entry like into the enterprise, which is awesome. So it's good to see that.
You're buying it for the PCI lines at that point. It's because you need them.
Yeah. Yeah, and also like big math fucking farms and shit like that. All right, deep topic. So this was a heated debate when we were early in the show before talking about what's going on here. And let me bring up the link here. Now, Cuphead is in the middle of a hot debate. Cuphead reignites the game. Journalists should be good at games debate. This is at a Game Rev. And we saw that someone was tweeting. Let's see if there's a tweet here. There's not. Someone was tweeting about what was going on. Doobie, explain the situation. You know.
So there was a tweet that kind of exploded, and it came from footage from PAX West, where the game journalist was playing Cuphead, and for lack of a better word, was pretty ass at it. I think it was like 26 minutes of footage, and they were struggling not just in like the tutorial, but like the first section. They didn't even get close to beating the first level. There's just straight 26 minutes of like really bad gameplay. So the tweet blew up. The tweet was like, how bad is game journalists? They can't even beat this game. Like, what's the credibility of a game journalist that can't play games? And the whole thing just blew up. The person in question, like apparently is an 18-year veteran game journalism. There was an article
which is insane. That is insane. Yeah. 18 years.
Here it is. GamesBeat lead writer Dean Takahashi just struggled at everything. And I think there was like an article they edited it, but he attributed the people who made Cuphead and pretty much called them like, oh, these two guys, this game's hard. They kind of have a notorious history of being hard with their last game, Super Meat Boy. Was like, but that wasn't those guys. Like, it was just a lot of just negativity and a lot of just like a lot of backtracking. It just was not a good look for them. But it brings up this whole debate. Should game journalists and game reviewers be good gamers? Okay. Is that a qualification for their job?
Okay, really quick. I'm watching the footage now of him playing this fucking game. And on the screen, it says, press A, tap it to jump short, hold A for a high jump. Above it, it says, press Y for a quick dash, and then it says X to shoot. And there's a little block, a large cylinder, and he's supposed to jump and then dash over the cylinder.
Yeah.
And he
still doesn't have it.
Understand this.
Yeah.
This fucking
is this
like you
concept.
At the beginning of that sentence, when you start, I imagine when you started that sentence, you're like, okay, I'm just going to describe it really quick because he's probably going to pass it here pretty soon. That motherfucker is still doing it right now, I bet.
Like
he still has not got that fucking concept down.
How hard is it to jump on the block and then jump and dash?
He can't do it.
No.
Okay, so
like
now this
legit takes him like 3 minutes
I saw him
to figure it
do
out.
Yeah.
No,
like,
it didn't. It literally didn't take him 3 minutes. It took him about 30. It did take him too long. It didn't take him 3 minutes. It took him about 20 seconds.
It took him a good minute.
It's not a good start, is what I'm saying. It's not a good start.
Yeah. So,
it's already off to a bad start.
So that, I can see where people are like, this guy doesn't even know how to fucking jump over this guy. I can see that.
I mean, you know how Twitter likes to blow things up too, but...
So the question is, okay, so the idea is this journalist might say this game is just too difficult and then give it a score according to that difficulty level, right? If it's too difficult for them to play and enjoy, they're not going to enjoy the game. They're going to give it a bad score. But that is the point of the journalist, in my opinion. It's for them to give their he's not there to kind of stroke your ego, stroke the gamer's ego, the developer's ego. He's there to give his opinion of his experience, right? Just to document what he thinks of the game. And good critics and good journalists become good because people trust their opinions. Their play style is similar. They enjoy the same type of games. You know what I mean? There's a reason why we all have our favorite like reviewer.
You usually will go back and, you don't just watch a new reviewer and take their word as law.
Right.
You go back and you watch more reviews from them and find out what their bias is.
I mean, It's a reason why aggregate is more important than the voice of one, because sure, his review may say 5 out of 10, this game sucks ass, I hate it. There might be 9 other game journalists that maybe are better gamers who skill level is more comparable to like somebody like me or Loco.
Well, see, that's my problem,
they give it a higher score because they enjoyed that tough gameplay. And then the aggregate will show that.
You're not supposed to really like, okay, if they shouldn't be reviewing over if it's hard or not. If they are, sure, crucify them. But to me, to say that no, to be a video games critic, you have to be good at a game is just beyond stupid to me. As a film critic, good at making a movie.
Right.
Has any film critics ever made a movie in their fucking life?
I would say it's more akin to like a book critic that can't read.
No, I would still disagree with that because like okay, because what I'm hearing whenever this discussion pops up is like, no, this critic has to be good. Like this critic has to be in like the 98th percentile. Okay, so that's great. He'll give me a good review if I am in the 98th percentile of playing that video game. Not many people are in that. You need a critic who is in the 30th percentile to tell people who are in the 30th percentile what to expect. You need one in the 50th to tell the people in the 50th what to expect. You need them. It's a spectrum. You need them all everywhere.
Well, even better.
You have to have a person who is bad at video games to tell another person who is bad at video games but still enjoys them. You need to
stop playing video games.
No, if they
enjoy being a masochist and having not fun by sucking,
maybe they do have fun. See, that's the thing though, is they can still have fun if they suck at video games.
Yeah, I agree. But the thing is the games are misrepresented. Like this same guy, this was what we were going to say earlier, but I stopped Doobie from telling you probably because I wanted to shock you and all you. This same guy 9 years ago reviewed Mass Effect and gave it a negative score because he didn't assign talent points.
Okay.
Which is the game.
So he's a bad reviewer.
He's fucking retarded, okay?
Okay, so good. He's a bad reviewer. That doesn't
he's a bad reviewer. That's what we're talking about. I believe that you don't
that wasn't what the question that was not what the discussion was based on.
No, this is what I'm getting to. I believe that if you're reviewing games, you don't have to be really fucking good. Even if this guy doesn't really play platformers, which I find that highly suspect if he's an 18-year veteran games journalist, that he just does not play platformers. But even if he doesn't play platformers, and you don't have to be really good at it. If you're a game journalist, I imagine that you play a lot of games in a week. In a spectrum of a week, you would play a lot of new games just to test them out and see them. I don't expect you to be the best at video games, and especially the best at that one particular video game or even video game style. But I do expect you to have a level of competency that just shows off, that shows off the game mechanics and just the whole point of the game. Like,
you can still
misrepresentative of the game as a total. If you cannot even beat the fucking tutorial in a reasonable amount of time, if you cannot beat the first level, which is in every game that I'm pretty sure of, is the easiest level in the whole fucking game. If you cannot do that in a reasonable amount of time, like, why are you putting this? It's not even the fact that he had this much trouble with it. It's the fact that he put this video up in his review. You saw this video, or I watched the video.
I watched most of it right now.
Yeah, other people saw it. Like, why would you put this shit up in a video and a review? Like, if you played this and this was your experience and you played this, if I played this and I played that bad, I was like, I'm not showing anybody this. This is stupid.
This is
but
like,
that's also
this doesn't show the game off at all. This shows how bad I am.
That's his job.
This is reflective.
If he's that bad, though, that's his job.
Shittily.
This is
he probably does, but you gotta realize though, yes, he is that bad at it. There's still a good amount of people who are just as fucking bad as him, and they need to know, hey, am I gonna have fun with this or not?
This is reflective of where kind of we are in, especially AAA gaming, at least, where games have become increasingly easier to give players a bigger sense of satisfaction. Why QuickTime events in so many games? That's why people were afraid of the new Spider-Man game, is they saw a lot of QuickTime events. That doesn't take any skill. It's nice cutscene, but like, you see all these cool things, but where's the challenge? I get the challenge is something that a game being too challenging, take Star Fox Zero. The reviewer from, I think it was Polygon, didn't even give a review. His review was literally, my review is incomplete because this game was I was having no fun with this game that I didn't even want to play any more of it. And I get it. The game, I tried it. I didn't like it either. It wasn't a great game. But how do you give an incomplete? That's not even doing your job.
You could argue that still is, but yeah. I mean, if
you were a
this,
game
if
reviewer, how do you not give it a review?
that is his review. If you just read what his review was.
His review was incomplete, which means he didn't finish his work.
Okay, Doobie,
Even
you
if he gave
do
it a
realize
5.
reviewers never finish the game. You do realize that, right?
They'll
They
at least
never
they'll at least
finish the
their
game.
review. His review
I mean-
wasn't even a number. It was literally, there's no review.
So, all right. So,
So he said it was that bad, it wasn't even worth reviewing. You should take that at his cost that it's that bad. That's his point.
so there's a clear barrier in terms of experience where the debate is essentially should reviewers review a complete game? Should they be able to complete the game and review the experience based upon the entire game as a whole, in terms of difficulty, in terms of story, everything that goes into it? Or should they review their experience with the game? And I can honestly see both points. I can see where it's, where Jerry's right. Like you do need some reviewers who they're not pros, they just want to play a game and then kind of have fun with it and see if it's enjoyable or not. This person does not look like they're having fun playing this game. And that is
person
a legit...
does not even look like they play video games. Like
Yeah.
my mother could probably play it easier than that guy.
But we don't know, because we haven't played this yet, so we don't know like what's going on here. It could be
But
a fucking shitty
There's
game.
a whole nother issue with and we're talking about reviews too. Like Jerry brought it up, like they don't even finish these games before they do a review. Is that something that needs to change?
I
No.
don't think so.
No, I don't. There's not enough time to. But
Especially with the rush to
Right.
put a review out these
Right.
days to be number one, and that's the whole news cycle in general. Is you want to be
Yeah,
the first to
embargo.
rate.
No,
Yeah.
hold on. I think we're putting way too much on these reviewers.
right,
We're
that's
putting
my
way
point.
too much on
It's
these
like, okay,
reviewers.
they have to. I agree. See, when you change the question to they have to be competent enough? Yes, I agree with that. But like good, that's a different question to me.
Yeah.
Because they do have to play enough of the game to be able to come to an opinion that they can state as their own. But being good at the game, they don't have to be fucking good at the game.
Well, there's also
agree,
this,
I'll
like-
agree with that. They need to be
Yeah.
competent enough. I can agree on that. Whether
Yeah,
they be
like
pro, I don't expect them to be pro. I'm
Like I said-
not a pro
Well,
at every game I
that's-
play.
That's my point though, is you need the pro. You need the pro to give his opinion, and you need my cousin with Down syndrome to give her opinion.
So
You need everything. Because it's not one. A gamer isn't one person playing it,
with the rise of YouTube and with gaming personalities that give their reviews on YouTube, I don't want to say is gaming criticism, at least professional gaming criticism, dying or a dying breed? Because you can get your news from them. You got your news from the obviously pro gamers from YouTube, who are very good at their games, whether it be like a fighting game with Maximilian Dude or the Game Explain guys with Nintendo games. Like, they're very good at games. You know that. So you have to understand, you take into their account, and then, at the end of the day, it's the consumer's choice to pursue any information they want and to take any opinion they in. And it's a reason why Twitch is so big right now. A lot of people watch people who play the game on Twitch and don't even read reviews to see if it's a game they would like to buy.
Yeah, and I think that's the real debate. It's not that should journalists be good at the games. It's you need to find a reviewer that you trust, right? You're not gonna, obviously, if you're someone that's really good at platformers and this game intrigues you, you're not gonna follow this guy's. He sucks. He obviously sucks at this game, and you're not gonna care what he says.
Everyone has their bias or their pro. Like, I'm not great, and I'm not gonna be the person you go to for a Call of Duty review. That's not the game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't need you just have to find like a couple people that you enjoy, and there's reviewers everywhere, right? We all do reviews. We do them on this channel,
especially with Twitch and YouTube.
You just need like someone that's like in your that you just trust and that you have the same kind of play style. And I think like there's just a way too much pressure on these reviewers. Like if someone gives a good review on a Call of Duty, all of a sudden this is a terrible reviewer. They don't know what they're doing. If they're giving another good review to Call of Duty, what are you doing? Yeah, Call of Duty is a best-selling game all the time. It's because it's easy to play. It's got great controls. It runs great, and it's just a fun game to play, right?
Polygon got ridiculed years ago with Pokemon Alpha Sun,
Doom.
Alpha
Doom.
Alpha and Omega. 7.8, too much water is a running meme now because of that.
No, I'm still thinking of this because was it Doom? The Polygon themselves, they put a 25-minute video. People thought he was fucking terrible. It started the whole entire thing again. He was saying he was just trying to give it. Yeah, he was bad, but it turned into a huge shitstorm again. It was just like, why? It's like even with Twitch. Okay, a lot of people watch, like Tim. They watch professional players, and it's like, that's great. I do appreciate their opinions. I would never buy a fucking game because they told me that, because I'm not a fucking professional video game player. I'm not on this list of literally 500 people of the best players of your region.
Well, there's also this thing where it's like, this is Cuphead. Everyone loves Cuphead. The art style is amazing. There's just a general adoration for Cuphead. So any bad review that comes out is going to get criticized. And the same on like Call of Duty. Any Call of Duty game that gets a good review is going to get criticized. So there's also like a fanboyism in gaming. You're dealing with a lot of children in this industry that have access to Twitter. And it's kind of rough. It's usually man children. It's usually never kids. It's mostly man children.
Pretty much. No, like I said, man, I don't expect... Like I said at the beginning of my little rant, I don't expect like game journalists to be the best fucking video game players.
To be like speedrunners where they can just blast through it.
Yeah, man. But I do expect them to not look like they're playing the game with just a hand of thumbs and half blind. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what you expect. What you expect. Someone might expect something else,
My point is you need them all though too, because like the other thing with it is like, okay, I mean, my I don't have a grandpa anymore, but my dad, who's the age of a grandfather, still playing video games. He sucks. I have like little, nieces who are like 4 years old playing video games. They suck.
Well, yeah, you need.
They need, to see like, okay, this is you playing this game. Will you have fun with that?
Well, that's why I love IGN and GameSpot reviews, because they played exactly the way I do. Most of the reviewers play exactly the way I do. They go through a game. If they're not immediately grabbed to it, if there's something not constantly giving them attention, they're on to the next one. And that's how I usually play my games. I have to really get into it at first, and it's got to hold me. It's got to have good gameplay mechanics. It's got to look good. There's got to be some depth to it. And usually their reviews are according. I've never been steered wrong by them except for the Madden Longshot one, and I have a serious issue with this. It's kind of destroyed my trust in reviews. But
see, that's why I'm different. Like I'm the opposite. Yeah, like I don't like the reviewing style. That's not for me. I need a game that I can sink 600 hours into.
Right.
And so I go to that. You know what I mean? It's different, but my point is, I guess you need all of those opinions because there are those people out there who need that type of opinion. They're like, the fact that this guy is this bad at the game proves that there's actually probably a decent amount of people who are going to be that fucking bad at the video game and have a right to know that they're probably not going to like it if they're that fucking bad at the video game.
Right. Also, like on the finishing it, like should they even finish the games? I think they should if they want to. If they don't want to finish it, then they don't have to. Like, then it obviously means the game didn't catch their attention to want to finish it. Yeah, there's always reviews out there of someone saying like, you'll usually know when they didn't finish the game. And when they do, then it's a good game and that they wanted to finish it. And that's usually where my reviews stand. And I only go to like 2-3 different sites for reviews. I don't look at all of them and go, oh man, I can't wait for Cuphead to get another 10 on this random reviewer's site.
That's what happened with Breath of the Wild. People freaked out when I can't remember who it was. Gave
Armando,
them,
that Armando dude.
Yeah, when he gave them the score that like dropped them just under like the 94 into 93, and people were like, "Fucking bullshit! Attack them, DDoS them." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
That's the fanboy.
He still gave it a good score, and why does it matter? Do you like the game?
It's definitely not a perfect game either. The whole Zelda debate.
No, it's not perfect.
I'm sure people are. I'm sure there's a lot of people eating their words now, because after you're kind of like done with it, you're not going back to that game. Master mode and the expansions are
I need that
really
new DLC is what I need.
Yeah, but they're really not. Well, you mean the new one coming up?
The new one coming out.
The story-based one. That's the one that interests me.
Yeah.
Master mode so far has been kind of
Well, it's like, what am I gonna hit the same fucking bokoblin for the millionth time? I'm so done with bokoblins.
But that bokoblin is actually now like 3 times stronger and is also leeching life and regenerating the entire time.
And you have a stick that breaks in 2 hits. Wow, that's a fun game.
I'm just gonna say, like, for reviews and whatnot, and this comes to movies as well. I'm the kind of person with how expensive movies are, how expensive games are. I kind of just, reviews are one thing, but I'm honestly, if it interests me, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to make my own opinion.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. I can't, with how expensive things are and how much money things are, it's my choice. I've seen movies that are just terribly, terribly reviewed and I like them. So, fuck it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah, movie reviews are different though. There's like a whole like pretentious thing to, and food critics as well. They're the fucking worst.
And vape critics.
Vape critics are the best, dude. You just give them some cash, they give them a good review. They're the easiest ones.
Oh, makes sense.
Don't even have to give them cash. Just send them free shit.
You just give them free shit. They'll love it.
I'm sitting here rewatching this Cuphead video.
I know, I'm watching it too. Everyone listening is watching it, and it is really bad. The guy just runs into the enemies. He literally just keeps running into the enemies.
Look, I kind of want to know, did he ever play Contra before?
Well, he's been in the business 18 years, so probably.
Because I mean, like, the game is super heavily inspired by Contra.
Look, I mean, hey, but at the same time,
it's a hard game.
You need more too, though. To me, just because it's like I could say I've been in the industry 18 years because I've been, playing my Commodore 64 for 18 years.
Yeah, but have you been writing reviews on Commodore 64 games?
Maybe he has. I don't know, dude. I don't know this, dude. That's my problem.
The thing
I want to see him play classic games. I want to see him play Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
No, I don't want to see him ever.
I don't want to see him play anything.
Exactly. I never want to see this guy play a game ever again.
Are you not entertained? I'm entertained.
Dude, I'm frustrated is what I am. But
you're getting triggered.
Yeah, dude. Like, I understand Jerry and his point of, you can't have a professional player in every single game and then look at this guy like if this dude would have just blasted through this game and be like, this shit's so easy, and then everybody bought it and it was actually, hard for everybody else, it wouldn't make sense.
I just
understand different skill levels, but looking at it's misrepresenting the game. It's so bad, pretty much, because it's like when I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, the controls must be fucking terrible in this game. Like, you must feel like you're in a tank, like Resident Evil tank controls.
I don't know if there's I don't know if there's lag. Like, I don't know. I'd have to play it for myself.
I don't know if that's not misrepresentative to me, but that's just me. I mean, yeah, he sucks. So he's representative of a person who really sucks at this game. That's not like.
But he needs to make it known that he sucks, Yeah.
That is entirely on. Like, if he's actually a good reviewer, he would make that known.
Yeah, he needs to make it known that it's not the controls. He needs to make it known, like.
Right.
They did go back.
Now, if he just says no, the game's too hard, and he never says like, oh yeah, no, the controls are. If he says the controls are good and he's just shit, you have to take that. He's got to provide all of that detail.
Well, he has gone back. After he got backlash after this and said that he was really bad at the game.
Well, that's good. That's good that he did that then.
Yeah, like I do agree with you that that is part of his job, is if he's bad and it's his reason to say he's bad, but this is why. It's like, if it's because of the controls, it's his duty to say it's because of the controls. If it's just him being bad, it's also his duty to say, no, I'm just really bad at it. But here's the perspective of a very bad video game player.
Can we agree, if anybody says this is the Dark Souls of platformers, that we just ignore them completely? Because I'm tired of Dark Souls of blank. I'm tired of that.
Madden is the Dark Souls of sports games.
I think that the only thing that people should say this is the Dark Souls of is if it's a blatant Dark Souls ripoff. Like, the only Dark Souls of platforming is Salt and Sanctuary.
I mean,
Because it's
Neo,
literally
because it
Dark
wasn't done
Souls.
by the actual Dark Souls team, but it's very Dark Souls inspired.
Oh yeah, by the way, in the article, Jerry, the guy wrote that this was from the makers of Super Meat Boy.
No, I do remember that. I was saying, hey, dude, if he's a shitty journalist, crucify him for that.
Yeah.
I'm not defending him for
Yeah.
that. I'm just saying my point is that on that broader concept, like it's a harder concept to just be like, no, they have to be good. Like that's bullshit to me. Like if he's a bad reviewer, crucify him for it. If he's a bad journalist, crucify him for it. But if he's actually doing his job that he should be doing and he just sucks at it, then you shouldn't just crucify him if he sucks, but he's actually trying to do his job. In this particular case, it doesn't sound like he was trying to do his job. So go ahead and, be angry at him.
I'm not really angry. It's just that I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. Like, to me, this is one of those, like,
Looking at his
conversations that comes up that doesn't seem like it should be a conversation to me.
Looking at
Welcome to the internet.
all his articles too, he's more of like a tech reviewer. He's not even really a reviewer. He just kind of like he's really a journalist. Like he's just like a reporter. He's not really a reviewer. He's not really a tech reviewer, a game reviewer. He's reviewing like mobile games. Like he's like you're kind of like he's like if your dad, like or like your accountant was reviewing a game. That's kind of what he is. So I think people are just putting way too much on this guy.
I think another issue.
He's just a bad game reviewer. That's at the end of the day. He's just a bad game reviewer.
And the other issue I have is like, it was another journalist that like clipped the whole thing and tweeted it, and that's where it blew up. It was a journalist from a different from the Daily Caller.
Oh, Daily Caller, really?
The Daily Caller journalist Ian Miles Chiang, I don't know how you pronounce this shit. Clip the opening segment. Game journalists are incredibly bad at video games. It's painful to watch this. How do they think they're qualified to write about games?
All right. Well,
I'm like, I don't know, man.
That's it for the show, guys.
This is coming from the dude who's qualified. That is entire top of his Twitter bio is Tom Brady, Paul Ryan, Donald Trump, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know what's his qualification for video games based off that.
I know.
It's fake news.
It's sad thing is, it's probably better than this guy. It's probably better than this motherfucker at playing video games.
Video games are hard. Fake news.
I'm surprised he lasted this long just running into enemies. It actually looks like an easy game. It looks like a pretty easy game. All right, well, let's close this up. It's been 2 hours.
When I play this game.
Thank you all for enjoying the No Life Gaming Show. We will be back next week. Make sure you follow us at No Life's Gaming on Twitter to get updates on what we're doing. I've been using Twitter a lot, so make sure you follow your boy over there. And also follow us at Twitch /no_lives. I'm downloading some Destiny 2 tonight. I got to finish this video. It's taken me like 4 or 5 days, and I'm still not done with it. Hopefully it's done soon, but I can get into some Destiny and get some live first impressions. We'll probably do that Apple thing too, so be on the lookout for that next week, which is the 12th. And yeah, all right, cool. We'll see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.